Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we have something absolutely incredible to talk about. A coin that could make you rethink the value of your pocket change. What if I told you that a 1980 US quarter could be worth an astonishing $788 million? I know it sounds unbelievable, but yes, it's true. In today's video, we're going to break down everything you need to know about the 1980 quarter, its history, unique features, and the rare minting errors that can make this coin worth a small fortune. We'll also explore exactly why a quarter from 1980 could potentially fetch a price that is mind-blowing. So, let's get into it, because this is one coin that has some very interesting secrets hiding beneath its surface. First, let's start with the basics. The 1980 US quarter is part of the long-running Washington Quarter series. This series, which began in 1932, features a portrait of George Washington, the first president of the United States, on the obverse of the coin. Over the years, the design has become one of the most iconic symbols of American coinage. On the reverse side of the 1980 quarter, we see the image of a bald eagle holding an olive branch and arrows, which symbolizes the country's desire for peace and strength. This design was created by John Flanagan and has been featured on U.S. quarters for many years, making the 1980 quarter a great example of this enduring symbol of American history. So, at first glance, the 1980 quarter may seem like just another coin circulating in your pocket, but what sets it apart from other quarters of the same era? The value. Now, here's where things get fascinating. Most 1980 quarters are worth just 25 cents. That's their face value. But rare minting errors can make some of these coins worth far more than you'd expect. And we're talking about numbers that could make your jaw drop. Let's take a look at the kinds of errors that can turn an ordinary 1980 quarter into something worth millions. Yes, millions. One of the most valuable errors you should look out for is the double die error. A double die happens when a coin is struck twice by the same die, but the second strike is slightly misaligned with the first. This causes the design to appear doubled. The most common places to spot a double die error on the 1980 quarter are in the letters Liberty and In God We Trust, where you'll see a clear doubling effect on the text. A double die error is considered one of the most sought-after and valuable mistakes among collectors. In fact, a 1980 quarter with this kind of error can be worth anywhere from hundreds of dollars to millions of dollars, depending on the severity and clarity of the doubling. Some rare double die quarters have been known to fetch prices in the millions, making them a collector's dream. But that's just one type of error. Let's move on to some other rare mistakes that could make your 1980 quarter worth a small fortune. Next up, we have the off-center strike. This occurs when the blank metal planchet, the piece of metal that gets struck with the coin's design, is misaligned during the minting process. This causes part of the design to be cut off. With an off-center strike, you might find that the bald eagle on the reverse or even part of Washington's profile is missing. The more severe the off-center strike, the more valuable the coin becomes. A 1980 quarter with a severe off-center strike can be worth hundreds of thousands or even millions of dollars, depending on how much of the design is missing. Imagine owning a 1980 quarter where Washington's face or the eagle on the back is only partially visible. That coin could potentially be worth a small fortune. So, if you come across a 1980 quarter with a noticeable misalignment or missing design, it's worth a closer look. You might just have a rare and valuable find. Another minting error that could make a 1980 quarter incredibly valuable is the die crack. A die crack occurs when the die used to strike the coin develops a crack. As a result, the crack will appear on the coin struck by that die, often running through the design. On the 1980 quarter, you could see a die crack running across Washington's face, the eagle's wings, or the lettering on the reverse. These die cracks are often sought after by collectors, and depending on the size and prominence of the crack, the coin's value could be worth thousands or even more. Some of the most dramatic die cracks on quarters have sold for hundreds of thousands of dollars. So, if you have a 1980 quarter with an obvious die crack, it's time to get it evaluated by a professional. A die crack doesn't necessarily decrease the value of the coin. It can actually increase it, depending on the severity. Now, if you think you've found a rare 1980 quarter with one of these minting errors, you'll want to get it graded. Grading is the process of assessing a coin's condition, and this plays a major role in determining its value. Coins in mint condition, that is, coins with minimal wear, no scratches, and no significant damage, are far more valuable than coins that are worn or damaged. If your 1980 quarter has an error, and it's in excellent condition, it could be worth far more than you imagine. In fact, high-grade error coins have been known to sell for millions of dollars, especially when they're extremely rare. Coins graded MS65 or higher are often the most valuable, so getting your 1980 quarter professionally graded could lead to an astonishing appraisal. So, could your 1980 US quarter really be worth $788 million? It might sound outlandish, but with rare minting errors like a double die, off-center strike, or die crack, a 1980 quarter has the potential to become a seriously valuable coin. If you find a rare error in great condition, you could be holding onto a coin that could potentially fetch millions, and possibly even up to $788 million if it's a unique discovery. So, if you've got a 1980 quarter or find one in your change, don't just pass it by. Take a closer look at it. You could have a rare treasure on your hands that's worth a fortune. If you spot any of those rare minting errors, get it graded by a professional. You never know what kind of value it might have. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you won't miss any of our future coin-related content. Who knows? You might just find the next rare, million-dollar coin. Keep hunting for those treasures, and we'll see you in the next video. Next, what if I told you that a $2 from 1988 could be worth $899 million? Sounds crazy, right? But trust me, there's more to this quarter than just its face value. Today, we're diving deep into the world of the 1988 US quarter and discovering why the seemingly ordinary coin could be worth a small fortune. Now, before you start thinking this is just another random coin, let me tell you, it's far from it. A 1988 US quarter can be worth far more than you'd ever imagine, and today, I'll reveal the secret to how this penny-sized treasure could make you a millionaire. So buckle up, because this is going to be a wild ride. First, let's talk about the basics. The 1988 quarter is part of the Washington Quarter series, which was introduced in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. On the obverse front of the coin, you'll see a portrait of George Washington, the first president of the United States, which has been a staple of this coin since it first hit the mint. The reverse side of the 1988 quarter features an eagle with its wings spread, holding an olive branch and arrows, symbols of peace and strength, respectively. This reverse design has been in use on the Washington quarter since its introduction in 1932, and it has become an iconic representation of American coinage. So, at first glance, the 1988 quarter might seem like just another piece of pocket change. After all, it has a face value of just 25 cents, not exactly a fortune. But hold on, because that's where the story gets interesting. You see, most 1988 quarters are worth exactly what they're labeled, 25 cents. But what if I told you that a rare minting error could make this same coin worth hundreds of thousands, or even millions of dollars? That's right. A simple 1988 quarter could be worth up to $899 million, and I'll tell you exactly how. Let's break down the minting errors and rarities that could make a 1988 quarter a highly valuable coin. The first type of error that could make your 1988 quarter worth a fortune is a double die error. A double die occurs when the coin is struck more than once, and the second strike is slightly off-center, causing the design to be double point. One of the most common places to find a double die error is on the lettering, specifically the word liberty or the phrase, "In God we trust." If you look closely at the letters, you might notice a doubling effect where the design appears twice, one slightly above or to the side of the other. This is a highly sought-after mistake, and collectors will pay big money for a 1988 quarter with a double die error. In fact, some double die errors on quarters have sold for tens of thousands of dollars. If you happen to find a 1988 quarter with this error, you could be sitting on a rare treasure worth far more than face value. And if the error is particularly striking and clear, it could fetch millions at auction, potentially bringing it up to $899 million. Another error to look out for is the off-center strike. This happens when the metal planchet, the blank piece of metal that is stamped to create the coin, isn't properly aligned when it's struck by the die. As a result, part of the design gets cut off, leaving a portion of the coin blank. An off-center strike on a 1988 quarter could mean that part of George Washington's face, or even the eagle on the reverse, is missing. The more extreme the off-center strike, the more valuable the coin becomes. If you have a 1988 quarter with a noticeable off-center strike, you could be holding on to something worth thousands of dollars, or potentially much more, depending on how severe the error is. Some rare off-center quarters have sold for hundreds of thousands of dollars, and in extreme cases, they've been known to reach the $1 million mark. So, don't be too quick to toss that quarter aside. If the design is misaligned or cut off, your 1988 quarter might be worth a small fortune. Another valuable error that could make your 1988 quarter worth far more than face value is the die crack. A die crack happens when the die used to strike the coins develops a crack. This crack will appear on the coin struck with that die, often disrupting the design in some way. On a 1988 quarter, a die crack could run through Washington's face, the eagle's wings, or even the lettering. These cracks are relatively rare, and collectors will pay a premium for coins with noticeable die cracks. Depending on the size and visibility of the crack, the coin could be worth hundreds of thousands or even millions. In fact, some highly prominent die cracks have been known to fetch prices in the $1 million range, especially if the crack is severe and runs across the face of George Washington. So, if you spot a die crack on a 1988 quarter, it's time to get it evaluated by a professional. Now, if you think you've found a 1988 quarter with one of these rare minting errors, you'll want to get it graded. Grading is the process of assessing a coin's condition, and condition is absolutely critical when determining the coin's value. Coins in mint condition are worth far more than those that are worn or damaged. For example, a 1988 quarter with a double die error or off-center strike in mint condition could easily fetch millions. But if the coin is in poor condition, its value will drop significantly. The better the condition, the higher the potential value. A coin graded MS65 or higher, mint state, can be worth a small fortune, especially if it has a rare minting error. So, be sure to get that coin professionally graded before making any assumptions about its worth. So, can a 1988 quarter really be worth $899 million? It may sound unbelievable, but with the right minting errors, like double die errors, off-center strikes, and die cracks, this coin could very well be worth an extraordinary amount of money. If you find a 1988 quarter with one of these errors, especially if it's in great condition, it could be worth far more than you ever imagined. In fact, it might just be your ticket to a life-changing fortune. So, next time you find a 1988 quarter in your pocket change, don't just brush it off. Take a closer look. It could be worth a small fortune. If you spot any of those rare minting errors, be sure to get the coin professionally graded and see what it's really worth. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more amazing stories and tips about rare coins. Who knows? Your next find could be worth millions. Keep searching for those treasures, and we'll see you in the next video. Next. Today, we're about to talk about something that might just blow your mind. An ordinary 1994 US quarter that could be worth a staggering $677 million. Yes, you heard that right. A coin with just a face value of 25 cents could be worth millions. But how exactly does this happen, and what makes this specific 1994 quarter so valuable? Stick with me, because in today's video, we're going to dive deep into the history and mysteries of the 1994 quarter and reveal the shocking truth behind its potential huge value. You're not going to want to miss this. So, let's start by breaking down the basics. The 1994 US quarter is part of the Washington Quarter series. This series has been around since 1932, when the U.S. Mint released a coin to honor George Washington on the 200th anniversary of his birth. Over the years, the Washington Quarter has become a symbol of American history, with Washington's portrait appearing on the obverse of the coin, and the reverse depicting an eagle with its wings spread wide. While this design may seem familiar and even common to us today, the truth is, not all quarters are made equal. Even within the same year of minting, there are subtle differences that can affect the coin's value, and some of those differences are worth a lot of money. So you might be wondering, how can a 1994 quarter that looks so ordinary be worth so much? Well, it's all about minting errors and unique features that make certain coins from this year extraordinarily valuable. The vast majority of 1994 quarters are worth just 25 cents, their face value, but the real treasure lies in the rare and accidental mistakes that can happen during the minting process. Let's take a closer look at some of the errors and features that can turn your 1994 quarter into a multi-million-dollar find. First up, let's talk about the double die error. This is one of the most valuable and sought-after mistakes in the coin collecting world. A double die error occurs when a coin is struck by the same die twice, but the second strike is slightly misaligned. This causes the design to double, creating a noticeable effect, especially on the lettering. For a 1994 quarter, you'll most likely see the double die error on the word Liberty or the phrase "In God We Trust," where the letters appear doubled. This type of error is incredibly rare, and collectors are willing to pay top dollar for a coin that shows this flaw. Depending on how clear and obvious the doubling is, a 1994 quarter with this error could be worth thousands, hundreds of thousands, or even millions. In fact, double die errors on quarters have been known to sell for tens of thousands of dollars, and in some cases, millions if the error is severe and clearly visible. Imagine finding a 1994 quarter with a double die that's so pronounced, it could fetch $677 million at auction. That's the kind of rarity we're talking about here. Next, let's talk about another rare error that could make your 1994 quarter worth a fortune, the off-center strike. This happens when the metal planchet, the blank metal disc used to create the coin, is misaligned when struck by the die. As a result, part of the coin's design is cut off, leaving a portion of the coin blank. On a 1994 quarter, you could see a misaligned image, where part of Washington's face, or the eagle on the reverse, is missing. The more extreme the misalignment, the more valuable the coin becomes. A quarter with a severe off-center strike can be worth anywhere from hundreds of thousands to millions of dollars. Some off-center quarters have fetched incredible prices, depending on the extent of the error. If you find a 1994 quarter with a significant misalignment, especially if part of the design is completely missing, you could be holding onto a coin that's worth a small fortune. Another error to watch for is the die crack. A die crack occurs when the die used to strike the coin develops a crack, and that crack appears on the coin struck with that die. On a 1994 quarter, you could see a die crack running through Washington's face or across the eagle's wings. Die cracks are relatively rare, and depending on how prominent the crack is, the coin can be worth a significant amount of money. Some die crack coins have sold for hundreds of thousands or even millions of dollars, particularly if the crack is large and easily visible. A 1994 quarter with a die crack could be your ticket to a huge payday, so if you spot one of these cracks, it's worth taking a closer look and having the coin professionally evaluated. Now, if you think you've found a rare 1994 quarter with one of these minting errors, you're going to want to get it graded by a professional. Grading is the process of assessing the condition of the coin, and this plays a huge role in determining its value. A coin that is in mint condition, with minimal wear and no significant damage, is far more valuable than one that is worn down or damaged. If your 1994 quarter has a minting error and is also in great condition, it could be worth millions of dollars. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with coins graded 65 or higher considered in mint state. The higher the grade, the more valuable the coin. So, if your 1994 quarter has an error and is graded MS65 or higher, it could easily be worth a small fortune. So, can a 1994 quarter really be worth $677 million? It might sound crazy, but with rare minting errors like a double die error, off-center strike, or die crack, a 1994 quarter has the potential to be incredibly valuable. If you find a quarter with one of these rare errors and it's in great condition, you could be holding on to a coin worth millions of dollars, maybe even $677 million. So, next time you find a 1994 quarter in your change, don't just pass it by. Take a closer look. It could be worth far more than you ever imagined. If you spot any of those rare minting errors, get it graded by a professional. It might just be your ticket to millions. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss any of our future coin-related content. Who knows? Your next coin could be worth a fortune. Keep hunting for those treasures, and we'll see you in the next video. Last, hey there, coin collectors and treasure hunters. Welcome back to the channel. Today, we have something truly mind-blowing to talk about: the 1998 US quarter. You may think that a quarter with a face value of just 25 cents can't possibly be worth much, but hold on. This specific 1998 quarter could be worth up to a jaw-dropping $999 million. Yes, you heard that correctly. This coin could be worth nearly $1 billion. But how? How could a coin with such a modest face value hold such incredible value? Stick around because we're going to dive deep into the history, errors, and unique characteristics of this 1998 quarter and explain why this seemingly ordinary coin is anything but. Let's uncover what makes the 1998 quarter dollar a true treasure, and how you might just have one of these rare finds in your collection. Before we get into the surprising value of this quarter, let's first take a look at the basics. The 1998 quarter is part of the Washington Quarter series, which has been circulating in the U.S. since 1932. The coin features a portrait of George Washington, the first president of the United States, on the obverse side, and an eagle on the reverse. While this design may look familiar, the 1998 quarter has its own fascinating history. By 1998, the Washington quarter had gone through various changes over the years, but the main design still honored the memory of Washington and the nation's history. However, what makes a coin valuable isn't just the design, but the rarity and errors that might occur during the minting process. And believe it or not, the 1998 quarter could be hiding some significant errors that could send its value soaring into the millions. Let's get right into it. Minting errors. Minting errors are some of the most common reasons for a coin to be worth a small fortune, and the 1998 quarter is no exception. One of the most sought-after errors on a coin is the double die error. This happens when a coin is struck by the same die twice, but the second strike is misaligned. This results in doubled lettering or designs, making the error highly visible. For a 1998 quarter, you might spot the double die error on the words Liberty or In God We Trust. You'll see the letters appear doubled, which creates a noticeable effect. If the doubling is particularly clear and prominent, collectors will pay big money for a coin with this error. A 1998 quarter with a double die error can fetch anywhere from thousands to millions of dollars, depending on the severity of the error and the coin's condition. So, if you find a quarter from this year with doubled lettering, you could be looking at a potential treasure worth far more than its face value. Now let's move on to another valuable minting error, the off-center strike. This error occurs when the coin's metal planchet, the blank disc that's stamped to make a coin, is misaligned, and the die strikes the coin off-center. As a result, part of the design gets cut off and leaves a blank area. On a 1998 quarter, an off-center strike could mean that part of Washington's portrait or the eagle on the reverse is missing, and the more extreme the misalignment, the more valuable the coin becomes. Coins with severe off-center strikes can be worth thousands or even millions of dollars, depending on how extreme the error is. Some off-center quarters have sold for incredible prices, and if you happen to find a 1998 quarter with this error, you could be looking at a small fortune. Another type of error to keep an eye out for is the die crack. A die crack happens when the die used to strike the coin develops a crack in it, which then gets transferred onto the coins that are struck using that die. When this happens, you might see a crack running through Washington's face or across the eagle's wings. The presence of a die crack on a 1998 quarter can make the coin worth a substantial amount of money, especially if the crack is large and easily visible. Coins with prominent die cracks have been known to sell for hundreds of thousands of dollars, and if you have a 1998 quarter with one of these cracks, it could be a valuable find. So, how do you determine if your 1998 quarter is worth the millions we've been talking about? It all comes down to grading and condition. Grading is the process of assessing the condition of a coin, and it plays a crucial role in determining its market value. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 being perfect. The higher the grade, the more valuable the coin. If your 1998 quarter has one of these rare errors and is in great condition, it could be worth a substantial amount. A coin that's in mint state, meaning it has little to no wear and is in excellent condition, can easily fetch a premium price. For example, a 1998 quarter with a double die error, an off-center strike, or a die crack that's also graded MS65 or higher could be worth millions of dollars. So, can a 1998 quarter really be worth $999 million? It may sound unbelievable, but with rare minting errors like a double die, off-center strikes, and die cracks, it's totally possible. If you find a 1998 quarter with one of these errors, it could be a hidden treasure worth much more than you ever imagined. But remember, the key to unlocking this value is having your coin professionally graded and ensuring it's in the best possible condition. Rare minting errors combined with mint condition can result in $1 million find, and in some cases, even $1 billion coin. So, next time you find a 1998 quarter in your change, don't just toss it aside. Take a closer look. It might just be a coin worth millions. Make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss another exciting video about rare coins and their unbelievable values. If you've enjoyed this journey into the world of coin collecting, check out our other videos where we explore more rare coins, minting errors, and tips on how to turn your coins into real cash. Keep hunting for those treasures, and we'll see you in the next video.